Imagine for a moment that the quiet being sleeping at the foot of your bed, the one whose paws tap a rhythm of joy when you return, the one whose gaze seems to hold all your unspoken sorrows, is not what you believe them to be. This is not another story about a pet. This is an unveiling, a lifting of the curtain on one of life's most profound, most sacred companionships. A journey that begins with a simple truth, drawn from a deep well of ancient knowing. A whisper from my tradition teaches that every dog has a purpose, a path intertwined with its human. They are guardians of the heart, clothed in fur. Their loyalty is not born of instinct alone. It is a vow, a silent promise made between souls. They feel the weather of your inner world before you can name the storm or the sun. This connection is not of the flesh. It is of spirit, of energy. It flows like a river between dimensions. There is a man, a legend in my part of the world, who could quiet his mind and listen to this river of knowing. He brought back wisdom of past lives, of healing, of things to come. But the truth he revealed about the dog, that was different. It touched the earth of our daily lives, a truth felt by millions, but rarely understood. Have you ever paused to ask, why this dog, at this exact moment in your life? Of all the souls in all the world, why did your paths cross? And why this unique spirit, with these habits, these quirks, these deep, knowing eyes? An ancient wisdom teaches us that there are no accidents on the spiritual path. There is only a perfect unfolding, a sacred mission wrapped in what we call unconditional love. Today, many seasons after this truth first bloomed, we are ready to walk this path of understanding. We are ready to see the true nature of the companion at our side. I invite you to breathe, and in the stillness, remember the moment you first met. Perhaps you walked into a shelter just to look, and left with a soul you could not leave behind. Perhaps one appeared at your door, a silent question, or maybe you resisted until a force greater than reason softened your heart. Do you truly believe this was chance? The wisdom I share today will change the landscape of that memory. You knew each other long before your hands first touched in this lifetime. If this path of discovery resonates with the quiet knowing in your heart, let a simple like be a marker on your journey. I invite you to subscribe and ring the bell so we may continue to walk this path together, step by step. You share a connection that flows beyond the boundaries of time, beyond the illusion of separateness. In the great stillness before we choose a life, before we take a breath, we make quiet agreements. We weave a tapestry of purpose with other souls. These threads become our family, our friends, our loves, and yes, our four-legged guardians. It is from this space that a soul chooses to become your companion. But to understand the river, you must first understand its source. The wisdom I share comes not from one man, but from a lineage of silent listening. It flowed through a simple man, born on a farm, a photographer. He discovered a gift not of his own making. At 21, his voice was lost, a wall of silence. Then, in a state of deep inner quiet, a different voice spoke through him. A voice that not only named his own ailment with stunning clarity, but prescribed the path back to wholeness. His voice returned. This was the beginning. He found that in this profound stillness, he could access a river of knowing that connected all beings. He needed only a name, a location, to feel into the life of another, to understand their body's story, their soul's journey. For over 4 decades, this channel remained open, documented in thousands of readings. Physicians witnessed the truth of his insights. Strangers confirmed his foresight. The wise studied his stillness, unable to grasp the source. They called him the sleeping prophet, for the knowledge flowed only when his own mind was asleep. It was as if a greater consciousness borrowed his voice. And it was this consciousness, this deep well of truth, that spoke of the dog. The wisdom that flowed was clear. Different beings hold different energies, different purposes on this earth. Certain souls are drawn to certain paths, certain people. He explained how these companions act as bridges between the seen and the unseen worlds. But the dogs, this wisdom teaches, hold a unique place in this great tapestry. They are the only beings who made a conscious vow with humankind. not merely for survival, not for shelter, but a deep spiritual pact. Dogs chose to walk the path of evolution alongside humans. In a profound reading, this wisdom was shared. They surrendered a piece of their wild nature to become our spiritual companions. This is a sacred contract. It echoes across lifetimes. What makes this revelation so powerful is that it was spoken decades before our modern science began to explore the heart of a dog, its emotional world, the invisible bond. He was describing a reality that our tools would only begin to see 50 years later. This ancient wisdom explains that dogs possess a heightened sensitivity. Their spirit is like clear water, able to feel the subtle currents of the unseen. They can sense presences, feel shifts in the energy of a person's being, and even sense the future carried on the winds of the present moment. A dog knows when its purpose with the soul is complete, the teaching says. It also knows when its time in this body is coming to an end. This is not sadness. It is the fulfillment of a promise. In these moments of shared wisdom, it was often revealed how dogs serve as perfect mirrors for their humans. If a soul needs to learn the deep strength of loyalty, a dog with an unwavering heart will appear. If patience is the lesson, a companion with a will as strong as a mountain will arrive. If the journey is about healing a wounded heart, a dog with an endlessly gentle spirit will come. The most profound part is that this truth was shared with the same calm certainty as a healing prescription. For the consciousness that spoke, there was no separation between healing the body and understanding the soul. It was all one flow, one interconnected reality. Today, many seasons after this wisdom first flowed into the world, it is confirmed not by science, but by the quiet knowing in the hearts of millions. People who share their lives with dogs speak of silent communication, of an unseen protection, of transformations that can only be explained by this sacred understanding. The truth of this does not come from the abilities of one man, but from the resonance it finds in your own heart. When we speak of the spiritual mission of dogs, it is not speculation. It is a transmission, direct knowledge from a deeper current of reality. And that knowledge is here now to change everything about the way you see the companion at your side. Pause, breathe. Remember that first meeting, the shelter, the stray, the unexpected softening of your own heart. Do you still believe it was an accident? An old teaching reveals a truth that changes everything. You knew each other before you met. You share a connection that transcends lifetimes, that laughs at the illusion of death. In the great stillness, before we are born into these bodies, we make agreements with souls who will help us on our path. Canine souls choose their human families from this place of knowing. A teaching so profound it left all who heard it in tears explains this. They study the needs of our spirit. They prepare themselves to serve us in the exact way we need for our growth. This means your dog is not simply an animal you chose. It is a soul that accepted a sacred task to help your spirit unfold. It knows your shadows, your deepest fears, your wounds that cry out for healing. And it arrived with the perfect spirit, the perfect energy to help you walk through that fire. Think of your dog's nature. Is it fiercely protective? Perhaps your soul needs to learn to build healthy boundaries, to feel safe in your own being. Is it full of boundless play? Perhaps you need to rediscover the simple joy of the present moment. Is it a pool of calm? Your spirit may be calling for stillness, for peace, but the bond goes deeper than character. The teachings reveal that many dogs are souls of companions we have known in other lifetimes. They return to continue the sacred work that began long ago. To recognize a soul from a past life is instant. There is an immediate sense of home, a connection that needs no building, for it has always been there. Have you felt this? This quiet certainty that you have known your dog far longer than the years can count. That is not imagination. It is the memory of the soul. The signs are unmistakable. Your dog might react to certain places as if with memory. It may hold fears or loves that make no sense in the story of its current life. It may have an innate wisdom, a way of being that feels ancient. It was also revealed that some are human souls choosing the form of a dog to serve a specific person. These are the special ones. The ones with old wisdom in their eyes, who show a compassion that feels almost human. These souls make a great sacrifice, the teaching explains. They surrender the human path to become a guardian of the heart. It is an act of pure love, rarely understood. This explains why some dogs seem to grasp our world with such depth, why their empathy is so profound, why they sometimes seem to be teaching us through their silent example. The timing is also no accident. Your dog walks into your life at the precise moment its medicine is needed. Perhaps during a time of great challenge, a dark night of the soul, or when you are ready for a great shift, a transformation that requires the unwavering support only they can offer. The ancient wisdom calls this perfect timing a part of the divine dance that guides our lives. Nothing is random. Every meeting has a purpose. Every bond holds a mission. And the mission of the dog is one of the most sacred. They come to teach us love without conditions, loyalty without question, forgiveness without memory. They teach the joy of now. But they also come to guard us energetically, to help us heal ancient wounds, and to prepare us for the next step on our spiritual path. When you look at your dog now, you are not just seeing an animal. You are seeing a spiritual being who chose to pause its own journey to quicken yours. You are seeing a brave soul who made a vow to stand with you, in light and in shadow. Why does your dog sometimes seem to protect you from something you cannot see? Why does it grow restless in a certain corner? Why does it sense a coming storm, inner or outer, before you do? The answer is a river that runs far deeper than instinct. They are guardians of the spirit, disguised as pets. As humanity's journey unfolded, we learned the language of the mind, but forgot the language of the spirit. Our senses narrowed. Dogs, however, kept this awareness intact. They see, feel, and sense the currents of reality that our busy minds have learned to ignore. And they use this clarity to protect us in ways we cannot imagine. Dogs are spiritual sentinels, the wisdom explains. They can feel the presence of energies, both light and shadow, that approach their human. They sense shifts in the atmosphere of a room. So when your dog barks at an empty space, it is not barking at nothing. It is speaking to a presence that is there, but beyond your senses. The dog's ability to see beyond the veil is why so many ancient traditions held them as sacred. But their protection goes deeper than an alarm. They are living, breathing shields of energy. They absorb negativity directed at their human and transmute this dense energy through the light of their own being. A dog can absorb a vast amount of the heavy energy aimed at its companion. This is done consciously, the teaching says. It is part of their mission, a service born of pure love. This truth shines a light on why some dogs develop mysterious illnesses, ailments that echo their human's own struggles. They are not simply sick, they are absorbing toxic energy to protect the one they love. The teachings describe 3 layers of this spiritual guardianship. First, the protection of your space. Every dog holds a field of energy around its home and family. They can feel the intention of one who approaches, long before they reach the door. This is why their bark changes, why they grow restless for certain people. Second, the protection against unseen presences. They can perceive spirits and energies that dwell in dimensions close to our own. They act as a natural barrier, a guardian at the threshold. Third, the protection of the heart. Certain dogs, those with the deepest bonds, can intercept energies sent with conscious ill intent. They absorb these thought forms, these psychic arrows, before they can touch their human. What makes this guardianship so profound is that it is freely given. Dogs are not bound to this task. They choose it. It is the fulfillment of the spiritual promise made before this life began. A dog's loyalty is not instinct. The ancient wisdom reminds us. It is a spiritual vow. They promise to guard and serve, and they keep this promise until their last breath. This dedication explains what we often misunderstand as jealousy or possessiveness. When your dog dislikes someone, it is not being unsocial. It is feeling an energy in that person that is out of harmony with your well-being. When it insists on sleeping in your room, It is not being spoiled. It is holding a space of energetic safety around you in your most vulnerable time, sleep. In sleep, the veil thins. Our energy is more open. Dogs know this. They heighten their watchfulness through the night. It is why they are often more alert in the darkness, even when all is silent. The wisdom also reveals that dogs can feel the future forming in the currents of the present. They sense energetic shifts that come before accidents, illness, or crisis. They show strange behaviors, a restlessness, trying to warn us of something our senses cannot yet grasp. They see the future in the energy of now, the teaching says. An agitated dog may be speaking of a storm that has not yet broken, but is gathering on the horizon. This is one of the highest forms of protection. They don't just react to what is. They prepare us for what is to come. Now that you see your dog as a spiritual guardian, it is time to learn the silent language of the signs it sends you constantly. Every strange behavior, every quirk, holds a deeper message. Your dog is trying to speak to you about a reality you cannot perceive. Let us begin with the most common and misunderstood sign, barking at an empty space. When your dog barks at a corner where you see nothing, it is seeing something. The teachings explain that dogs perceive spiritual presences, fields of energy left behind by intense emotions, imprints on the memory of a space. Every room holds energetic memories. A dog can read them like an open book. They bark to alert you, to clear the energy that might affect you. If your dog barks at the same spot repeatedly, pay attention. A powerful event may have happened there. It could be a doorway for energy or a presence asking to be acknowledged. The sound of the bark is also a key. Short, sharp barks often speak of physical things. Long, deep barks may signal unseen energies. Quick, high-pitched barks can be warnings of immediate danger. Another common sign is the refusal to enter a space. If your dog avoids a certain room, it feels something you need to be aware of. Dogs are like living compasses for energy, the wisdom says. They feel immediately when a space is heavy or holds an unwelcome presence. Respect this intuition. Cleanse the energy of that room. A simple candle, a prayer, the smoke of sage. You may notice your dog staring, fixated on something you cannot see. It will be still, watching a single point with deep focus. When this happens, it is likely observing a spiritual energy. It could be a guiding spirit, a loved one who has passed, or simply a current of energy moving through the room. The dog's own energy is the guide. If it is calm, the presence is gentle. If it is tense, the energy may need to be cleared. Those moments when your dog approaches for no reason and insists on being close are also significant. The teachings reveal that dogs can feel when our own energy is out of balance, when we are under an unseen stress. They draw near to offer immediate protection. Their physical presence strengthens the field of our own energy, helping us to repel these heavy influences. The next time this happens, pause. Check in with your own inner state. Were you lost in worry, anxious? Your dog felt your need for energetic support. Overprotective behavior is another powerful sign. If your dog suddenly starts to shadow you, to sleep at your door, to be more wary of strangers, it may be feeling your own spiritual vulnerability. This often happens in times of change or great stress. Our own energy field becomes more open, and the dog instinctively steps up its guardianship. Even food can be a spiritual sign. A dog that suddenly loses its appetite may be absorbing negative energy from its home or its humans. They lose the desire for food when they are working hard on an energetic level. The ancient wisdom teaches that when a dog refuses food for no clear reason, we must ask, what is the emotional weather in this house? Sleep patterns are also revealing. A dog sleeping far more than usual may be processing heavy energy it has absorbed. Sleep is how they transmute and cleanse. On the other hand, a restless dog that cannot settle at night may be sensing intense spiritual activity. It is keeping watch. The most poignant behavior described in the teachings is when a dog becomes excessively affectionate. It seeks more contact, wanting to be close, to share every moment. It does this when it senses its mission is nearing its end. The wisdom reveals it is as if the dog knows its time is limited, and wants to absorb the fullness of every last moment of connection. This understanding gives us a beautiful responsibility. We must learn to listen. The conversation is only just beginning to deepen. Edgar Cayce's wisdom, and the wisdom of my own lineage, reveals that dogs not only protect us, they are perfect mirrors of our own soul. Every trait, every behavior, every challenge your dog presents reflects something specific about your own inner journey. Dogs are a direct reflection of their human's inner world. One teaching says, they show us on the outside what we need to see about ourselves on the inside. This means your dog is an open book about your own soul. Its gifts, its shadows, its fears, its need for healing, all of it is reflected through your companion. Consider this: an aggressive dog is rarely found with an aggressive person. Instead, it is found with a person who buries their own anger, who suppresses their own fire. The dog gives that repressed energy a voice. The next time you see a dog that is territorial or overly protective, pause. Ask yourself, where in my own life do I feel my space is invaded? Where do I need to draw a clearer line? Where am I failing to protect my own heart? The teachings say that dogs arrive already holding the exact medicine. We need to see our own blind spots. Let's explore the most common mirrors. The anxious dog. If your dog is anxious, you are likely carrying anxiety, even if you hide it well. The anxious dog appears to a soul that needs to learn to relax, to trust the flow of life. It forces us to cultivate our own inner peace. The fearful dog, a dog that is afraid of the world, mirrors our own hidden fears. It shows us how fear can shrink our world. In helping our dog find its courage, we find our own. The stubborn dog. If your dog is willful, it is reflecting your own resistance to what is. Stubborn dogs appear to those who need to learn flexibility, to learn to dance with life instead of trying to control it. The needy dog, a dog that constantly needs attention, mirrors our own emotional neediness. It shows us our hunger for approval. By learning to give the dog the safety it seeks, we learn to give it to ourselves. The independent dog, a dog that keeps its distance, often belongs to a person who struggles with deep connection. It teaches the sacred balance between freedom and intimacy. But the most stunning mirror is how a dog's illness can reflect the emotional state of its human. The teachings on this are profound. Digestive issues. Dogs with these troubles often belong to people who cannot stomach a situation in their life. The dog is absorbing and trying to process the energy their human cannot. Skin problems. The skin is our boundary with the world. Skin issues in a dog often reflect their human struggles with self-image, with feeling exposed or vulnerable. Respiratory issues. A dog struggling to breathe may mirror a human who feels suffocated by life, who lacks the space to breathe freely. Heart problems. Perhaps the most moving of all. Dogs with heart trouble are often with people who have a broken or closed heart. The dog is literally taking on the weight of its human's emotional pain. Dogs take on these illnesses as a sacred service. The wisdom explains. They would rather their body carry the burden than see their human suffer in spirit. This truth gives us a deep responsibility. When our dog is ill, we must first look within. What part of my own soul needs healing? Often, as we begin to heal ourselves, our dogs mysteriously recover. But the mirror also works in light. A joyful dog reflects a human in harmony. A loving dog mirrors a person who is open to love. Your dog's spirit also reveals your own dormant gifts. If your dog is highly intuitive, it is likely you have this gift, yet unused. If it is a natural protector, you may have a gift for caring for others. The ancient wisdom taught that we can speed our own spiritual growth by consciously observing the mirror our dog holds up for us. Instead of judging the behavior, we ask, what is this here to teach me about me? When we see our dogs as mirrors of the soul, the relationship is transformed. Their behaviors are no longer problems. They are lessons. Have you ever had the feeling that your dog was reading your mind? The communication between a human and a dog does not need words. The wisdom explains. It flows on currents of thought, in pictures of the mind, in a direct knowing that passes between hearts. Dogs are masters of this silent language because they never forgot it. As humans developed words, we let our telepathic sense grow quiet. But dogs kept this pure form of communication. They don't just receive our thoughts. They are constantly sending us information. The problem is not their sending. It is our listening. You have experienced this. The thought of food brings the dog to the kitchen. You were in another room. You made no sound. But the thought, the intention, was enough. He felt it, shared sadness. You felt a wave of grief, but showed no outward sign. Yet your dog came to you, rested its head on your lap. It felt the shift in your inner weather, the knowing of your return. Your dog grows restless, waits at the door minutes before you arrive, even when you have no fixed schedule. It is feeling your intention to return, your energy moving towards home. The teachings explain this happens in what is called the shared field of consciousness. When you form a deep bond, you create a shared inner space. In this space, thoughts, feelings, and intentions flow freely between you. It is not magic, it is the physics of spirit. Consciousness, the teachings say, operates on frequencies. When two beings of love tune to the same frequency, silent communication is as natural as breathing. But you can cultivate this connection consciously. Here are some of the ancient practices. Practice 1. Communicating with images. Sit quietly with your dog near. Close your eyes. Hold a clear picture in your mind of what you want to communicate. To ask him to come, see him walking to you. To ask for calm, see him resting peacefully. Hold the image like sending a photograph from your mind to his. Gently, clearly. Practice 2. Transmitting feelings. Dogs are masters of feeling. You can communicate through emotion. To ask for calm, you must first feel deep peace in your own body. To ask for alertness, feel focused attention within yourself. You must truly feel it. The dog reads what you feel, not what you think you feel. Practice 3. The gaze. Look into your dog's eyes. Hold a soft, loving gaze. Do not stare. Just look with love and a clear heart. As you hold the gaze, gently send your message from your mind. The teachings say the eyes are a direct bridge between souls. Practice 4. Asking questions, observing answers. You can ask your dog questions in your mind. Then, be still and observe the answer. The answer will come not in words, but in a shift of energy, a body movement, or an image that arises in your own mind. Ask silently, "Are you well?" and watch. Ask, "Do you wish to walk?" and feel the response. Trust the first thing that comes. But this silent language goes deeper than simple requests. The teachings reveal that dogs often try to send us important information about our health, our path, our spirit, warnings about health. Dogs can sense illness before symptoms appear. If your dog persistently licks or sniffs one part of your body, pay attention. It may be alerting you. Feelings about people. When your dog has a strong, unexplainable aversion to someone, it is feeling an energy that you cannot. Trust its intuition. Knowing of events. Dogs feel the energetic shifts that come before big events. If your dog acts strangely for no reason, it may be feeling a change on the horizon of your life. The most touching truth Edgar Cayce's wisdom shared is about the dog's role as a spiritual healer. Dogs are divine instruments of healing. The teachings reveal they can absorb trauma, dissolve energy blockages, and restore balance to their human's heart. This is one of their most sacred purposes. If you have ever felt a profound comfort from your dog's presence during a hard time, you have felt this healing. It was not just company. It was a literal transmission of healing energy. Dogs have a natural gift most humans have lost. They can absorb negative energy and not be destroyed by it. They are like conscious sponges for energy, taking in the density of our pain and transforming it into light. Let us understand this process. Absorbing emotional trauma. When you are in pain, grief, separation, fear, your dog feels the imbalance in your energy. It draws near. Through physical touch or simply being close, it begins to absorb the dense energy of the trauma. Have you noticed how your dog glues itself to you when you are sad? It is not just offering comfort. It is pulling the pain from your energetic body, energetic transmutation. After absorbing this heavy energy, the dog processes it. The teachings say they have a natural ability to turn dense energy into light. They are spiritual alchemists, turning lead into gold, returning healed energy. After the energy is cleansed, the dog returns purified energy to you. This happens through their touch, their loving gaze. This is why you feel better after being with your dog. You have received a literal transfusion of healed energy. This is a real energetic process. Many report that during dark times, their dog's constant presence was the boat that carried them to shore. The teachings identify different kinds of healing dogs offer. Healing for anxiety. Dogs are masters of the present moment. Their energy naturally calms our nervous system and pulls us out of the storms of the mind. Healing for depression. The life force of a dog is a natural antidote to despair. Their pure joy and love for life gradually dissolves the heaviness of depression. Healing for trauma. Dogs offer total emotional safety. There is no judgment. This safe space allows old wounds to finally be seen and healed. Healing for loneliness. The deep bond with a dog heals the wound of separation. They teach us that we are worthy of unconditional love. This healing is most intense during sleep. The teachings reveal that when we sleep near our dogs, a deep energetic synchronization happens. The boundaries of the mind dissolve, and the deepest healing can occur. A dog sleeping near its human is actively working to heal the wounds of the soul. This is why many feel an instinctual need to sleep with their dogs. It is a need for energetic healing. But this healing is not just emotional, it can be physical. The dog's breath, its heartbeat, create a field of healing vibrations. Their body heat is energetic. When a dog rests on a painful part of your body, it is offering a healing warmth that can help on a cellular level. Dogs sometimes intuitively press on points on our body, activating energy meridians. The wisdom also says different breeds hold different healing specialties. Large dogs can be masters of healing deep trauma. Small dogs, excellent for anxiety and self-worth. Calm dogs, masters of stress. Playful dogs, perfect for depression. The most extraordinary part is that they do this consciously. They know what they are doing. Our responsibility is to help them cleanse, taking them into nature, allowing them joyful play, offering our own love. This helps them release the heavy energy they have taken from us. It is our way of thanking them for their service. When we understand our dogs as spiritual healers, our gratitude becomes boundless. They are not pets. They are four-legged angels devoted to our healing and our growth. And this healing is just the beginning of the journey they offer us.